Good morning, children. Hope you all are doing well. Welcome to your English class. Children, we have been learning about editing and its various aspects in the last few videos. Now today we shall be learning more about it. Today we shall learn about the third type of editing, that is editing omission. Now what is editing omission? Let's see. In this type of editing, a short passage is given. In each line of the passage, a grammatical word is missing or omitted, and a blank is given against it. You are to find the location and then write the missing word along with the preceding and succeeding words. Example, apple fresh. Now what exactly you have to do in this is, the way we have in editing, error finding and correction, the same way a short passage will be given to you. In each line of the passage there will be a grammatical word which is missing. Okay, in that earlier one, that is error finding and correction, the word was given but that was incorrect. But here the word itself will be missing. It will be omitted. And what you have to do is, you have to supply that word. Give one word. Put that missing word in place, right? And blank will be given against it. So what you have to do first is, you have to find the location where exactly the word is missing, and then write the missing word, right? The word which is missing you have to write. Along with that you have to write the word which is preceding and succeeding that particular word. Means which is before that word and which is after that word. I'll give you an example. Let's see. Here it is apple fresh. Now do you think there is something missing in between? Yes, the missing word is. Apple is fresh, right? So what we have to do is, there will be blank given there. So first we have to write apple, the preceding word. Then we have to write the missing word, that is. And in the third blank we will write the succeeding word, that is the word which is after the word which we have supplied, right? So fresh. So then it makes a complete sense, that it makes a complete sentence. Apple is fresh. Got the point? I hope you have understood it. Preceding, succeeding, and in between you have to write the word which you have supplied instead of that missing word, right? Now while doing this exercise also, there are certain points which you have to remember. Okay, now these points are not very different from the points which we have learnt in the previous two types, that is in error finding and correction and replacing the underlined word. The points are almost similar, so we'll quickly go through them. First point, read the paragraph carefully to understand the general idea. The way it has been said earlier, you have to read the paragraph very carefully to know what it is about, what the paragraph wishes to convey to us, the general idea about the paragraph. Now second point, while reading, mark the place where you find a word missing. Now during first reading of the passage only, you will come to know that these are certain locations where a word is missing. So keep a pencil in hand while you are reading that passage, and while reading only, just put a small mark there so that during second reading you can replace the word. Okay, so mark the place where you find a word missing. Next point, Read each line carefully. Most often, missing words are grammar words. Okay, so they are grammar words, so you have to read each line carefully to get the missing word, which word is not present there. Ensure that the supplied word should complete the whole sentence up to the full stop, and the whole passage is completed in a meaningful way. Now, what you have to do is, when you supply the word, so you have to ensure that the whole sentence up to the full stop, it is complete. See, we have seen in our previous error finding also that one sentence may take 2 to 3 lines to complete it, right? So once you supply the word in a line, you have to read it till the whole sentence is complete, that is till full stop, and you have to see that is the word matching, there is proper coordination between the words, is it making complete sense, right? And then you have to read the whole passage. First group of lines make a sentence, and then group of sentences make that passage. So that you have to keep in mind when you are supplying the word. Sometimes you may have to use trial and error technique to find the location and the missing word. See, sometimes in the first trial only you may not get the exact word. There may be some error. So what you have to do is, you may have to use the trial and error technique to find the location and supply the missing word there. Try it before each word of the line and check the whole sentence with the word you have supplied for aptness. Okay, so what you have to do is, you have to try it before each word of the line, right? Whenever you read the line, find the location, try a word there, check the whole sentence with the word, okay, and see that is it appropriate, everything is perfect, is it making sense, does the whole paragraph look meaningful, okay, is it good and smooth to read. Once all that is done, then your passage is edited and is ready to be submitted. So these are few points which you have to remember while doing the exercise or solving your passage, right? Now children, we will see a solved example from the book. In the passage given below, one word has been omitted in each line. Write the missing word along with the word that comes before and the word that comes after it in the blank against the correct number. Now here they are talking about the preceding words and the succeeding words. So ensure that the word that forms your answer is underlined. Very important point. You have to always underline the word which you have supplied. The first one has been done for you as an example. The small town was the foot of the mountains. Most the people were farmers. There traders also in the town, though not rich, were happy, contented. At one time, the peace interrupted by several robberies. The people frightened. The mayor, the town called for a meeting, discuss the matter. Okay, so this is the passage, unedited one, which we have read. Right? Now we are going to supply words in this passage and make it meaningful. Now see the first one. The small town was the. So the word supplied here is the small town was at the foot of the mountains. Most the people were farmers. Most of the people were farmers. So we are supplying the word of here in between most and the. So in A, in the first line we are going to write most, that is the preceding word. Then we have supplied the word of. So that we are going to write in the second blank, and in the third blank we are going to write the word the, that is the word which is succeeding the supplied word. And don't forget to underline the word which we have supplied, that is the word of, which is in the second blank. We have to underline that word. Clear? So most of the people were farmers. There traders also in the town. Now there were traders also in the town. So what will come in first blank? There. Second blank were, because that is the word which we have supplied. And third blank traders. So there were traders also in the town, and we have to underline the word were. That we have to keep in mind. So there were traders also in the town. Though not rich, they were happy and contented. So though not rich, they were. So the word supplied here is they, and that will come after rich and before were. So though not rich, in the first blank the word will be rich. In the second blank the word we have supplied, that is they, and in the third blank were, and we are underlining they. So though not rich, they were happy and contented. Happy and contented. So in D, happy, and then in second blank and then contented, and underline the word and. So though not rich, they were happy and contented. At one time the peace interrupted by several robberies. At one time the peace was interrupted by several robberies. So in E blank, peace is in the first blank, was in the second blank, and interrupted in the third blank, and we are underlining the word was because that is supplied by us. So at one time the peace was interrupted by several robberies. The people frightened. The people were frightened. So in the first blank it will be people, then were is supplied by us, so that will come in second blank, and frightened will come in third blank. So the people were frightened, and underline were. Right? Next sentence. The mayor, the town, called for a meeting to discuss the matter. The mayor of the town. The mayor of the town called for. Okay, so mayor in first blank, of in second blank, and the in third blank. The mayor of the town. So of is the word which we have supplied, and we are going to underline that. Called for a meeting to discuss the matter. So to is the word which we are supplying. So meeting in the first blank, to in second blank, and discuss in third blank, and underline the word to. Clear, children? I hope it's clear to you. Now I am reading the whole passage again just to see that does it give a smooth reading. Do we feel that it is smooth, doesn't have any more errors? So I am reading it once again. Listen carefully. The small town was at the foot of the mountains. Most of the people were farmers. There were traders also in the town. Though not rich, they were happy and contented. At one time, the peace was interrupted by several robberies. The people were frightened. The mayor of the town called for a meeting to discuss the matter. Yes, now the passage sounds very meaningful, sensible, and the words supplied are proper to it, right? So it is just the way we have done error finding and correction. Only thing is you have to write preceding word and succeeding word, and the word is, there is no incorrect word. You have to give the word of your own. You have to supply your own word. Clear? Now I have given the answers to the paragraph, okay, for your reference in case you want to refer to it. So they are given here. So this is the solved example, children. I hope you understood it, and it's almost the way we are doing the other editing. Now once you will practice, you will get better idea of how to do this. Now children, we are solving exercise C45 of your grammar book. Okay, it's on page number 190, exercise C45. Let's discuss. The following passage has not been edited. There is an error in each line. Write the error as well as the correction. Okay, now I'm reading the passage. First I'll read unedited one, and then we'll make the corrections. Even if Indians have a long history on them, they have a poor knowledge in keeping their kitchens and toilets clean. Modern detergents and soaps is very common in shelves, but people does not use them regularly. This causes an increase in a life of bacteria and viruses. Now children, this is the unedited passage which I have read. Now we are going to find the error and make the necessary corrections. Even if Indians have a long history. Now that is incorrect. Even though Indians have a long history behind them, not on them, but they have history behind them, because it is always, history is always about the past. So we have it behind us. So even though Indians have a long history behind them, they have a poor knowledge in keeping. They have poor knowledge of keeping. Instead of in, we are going to correct it with of. They have a poor knowledge of keeping their kitchens and toilets clean. Kitchens or toilets clean. Modern detergents and soaps is, that is incorrect. Modern detergents and soaps are very common. Now they are common in shelves? No. In is incorrect. They are very common on shelves. So modern detergents and soaps are very common on shelves, but people does not use them regularly. Now does is not correct here. People do not use them regularly. They are there on shelves, but people do not use them regularly. This causes an increase. This causes an increase in a life of bacteria and viruses. This cause will be replaced by causes. An increase in a life? No, that's incorrect. In the life of bacteria and viruses. Right? So these are the corrections we have made. Now I am going to read the edited passage, the complete passage with the corrections. Kindly listen very carefully. Okay, so here I go. Even though Indians have a long history behind them, they have a poor knowledge of keeping their kitchens or toilets clean. Modern detergents and soaps are very common on shelves, but people do not use them regularly. This causes an increase in the life of bacteria and viruses. So this is your passage C45. Okay, now answers are given here for your reference. You may refer and make the necessary corrections. Clear? Let's see exercise C6. Sorry, C46. The following passage has not been edited. There is an error in each line. Write the error as well as the correction. Now I am going to read the unedited passage first, and then we'll try and find the errors. Hemophilia are one of the several gender-linked diseases and affects only males. This is because the disorders is caused with a defective gene of the X chromosome. As the result, blood does not clot and there is a risk of heavy bleeding even from minor cuts and injuries. The disease is not affect females because from the two X chromosomes, if one has the defective gene, the other produce enough clotting factor. Now this is the unedited passage which I have read. Now here against each line 2 blanks are given. One is to write the error and the other one is to write the correction, and don't forget to underline the corrected word which you have supplied. That is to be underlined always. Okay, so let's try and find error and supply the correct word. Hemophilia are one of the several gender-linked diseases. Hemophilia is. It is a singular disease, so is. Hemophilia is one of the several gender linked disease and affects, not effects, affects only males. This is because the disorder, not disorders, but disorder is caused by, not with, is caused with a defective gene. No, that's a incorrect word. It is caused by a defective gene of the X chromosome. As the result, as a result, the is the incorrect word and the correct word to be replaced is a. As a result, blood does not clot and there is a risk of heavy bleeding. Risk for heavy bleeding. So for is incorrect word here. As a result, the blood does not clot and there is risk of heavy bleeding even from minor cuts and injuries. The disease is not affect females. The disease does not. Is the incorrect word and we will replace it with does. The disease does not affect females because of the two X chromosomes. Because from the two X chromosomes, so from is incorrect because of the two X chromosomes. If one has the defective gene, the other produces. So produce is the incorrect word and we are going to replace it with produces. The other produces enough clotting factor. Right? So now we have supplied the correct words to the passage. Now let's read it once to get a better idea that is it making some sense. Does it sound meaningful? So I'm reading it. Just listen carefully. Hemophilia is one of the several gender-linked diseases and affects only males. This is because the disorder is caused by a defective gene of the X chromosome. As a result, blood does not clot and there is risk of heavy bleeding even from minor cuts and injuries. The disease does not affect females because of the two X chromosomes. If one has the defective gene, the other produces enough clotting factor. Right, children? So this passage sounds absolutely right. So this is the edited passage. We have done all the necessary corrections. We have found the error first and then we have supplied the correct word. We have read the passage again and now it is ready to be submitted. Right? Now let's come to the next one, exercise C47. The following passage has not been edited. There is one error in each line. Write the error and the correction as given in the example against correct blank number. Also underline the corrections. Very important point, as I have been telling you earlier also. Always have to underline the corrections. Now I am going to read the unedited passage first. The Dead Sea Scrolls are a oldest known manuscript of any book of the Bible. Some of the scroll are more than 2000 years old. They are discovered in the mid 1900s in caves near a northwestern shore of the Dead Sea in Palestine and Israel. The first group of scrolls are discovered in 1847 by a group of schoolboys on a cave. Bedouins and others has found 10 more caves containing ancient writings. Now, this is the unedited passage which is given. Now, we are going to find the error in this passage and then we will make the necessary corrections. Okay, so let's start. The Dead Sea Scrolls are the oldest known manuscript? No. Are the oldest known manuscript. So we are going to replace a with the. The Dead Sea Scrolls are the oldest known manuscript of any book of the Bible. They are the oldest known manuscript of the book of the Bible. So we are going to replace the word any with the. The book of the Bible. Some of the scrolls, not scroll but scrolls. So we are going to replace it. Some of the scrolls are more than 2000 years old. Not year, but the correct word will be years. 2000 years old. They were discovered in the mid 1900s. Okay, so we are going to replace are with were. They were discovered in mid 1900s in caves near the northwestern shore of the Dead Sea. Near the. A will be replaced by the. The northwestern shore of Dead Sea in Palestine and Israel. The first group of scrolls are discovered. No. Are is the incorrect word. The first group of scrolls were discovered in 1847 by a group of schoolboys on a cave. No, that's incorrect. In a cave. So, on will be replaced by in a cave. Bedouins and others has found. They had found 10 more caves containing ancient writing. So, Bedouins and others had found 10 more caves containing ancient writings. So, these are few words which we have corrected. Okay, first we found the error and then we corrected the error. Now, I am going to read the edited passage, the complete passage with all the corrected words. Let's see. The Dead Sea Scrolls are the oldest manuscript of the book of the Bible. Some of the scrolls are more than 2000 years old. They were discovered in the mid 1900s in caves near the northwestern shore of the Dead Sea in Palestine and Israel. The first group of scrolls were discovered in 1847 by a group of schoolboys in a cave. Bedouins and others had found 10 more caves containing ancient writings. Right, children? So, this is how we have solved exercise C45, C46 and C47 of your grammar book, which is related to error finding. Right? Now, this exercise related to editing omission you shall be doing in your prep, and then we'll discuss it later. Okay? Now next time when we meet we'll discuss that. So you'll get, when you will practice, you'll get a better idea about how to do it. Fine, children. So with this we end our session for today. Thank you. Take care. Have a good day.